Okay, today we're going to talk about taking our fractions, our rational numbers, and adding and subtracting them. So the first thing is that when you are adding and subtracting fractions, they have to have a common denominator. Okay, that bottom number has to match. Okay, so if we look at number 1, what would be a common multiple of 2 and 8? 8, right? All I need to do is take this fraction and multiply it by 4. So now I'm going to have 4 over 8 plus 5 over 8. That's 9 over 8. And then when I simplify it, I get 1 and 1/8. Okay, on number 2, common denominator of 6 and 9 would be 18. So we're going to multiply this one by 3 and this second one by 2 because I'm trying to make that bottom number 18. So that gives me 3 over 18 minus 8 over 18. And 3 minus 8 is negative 5 over 18. Okay, on number 3, our denominator would be 20. So this one gets multiplied by 2, this one by 5. So I get 2 over 20 minus 5 over 20, which would be negative 3 over 20. Let's talk about with mixed numbers. Okay, with mixed numbers, I like to add together the whole numbers first. So 3 plus 5 is 8. And now I'm going to worry about adding together the fractions, 2/3 and 1/2. So a common denominator would be 6. So this fraction gets multiplied by 2. This fraction gets multiplied by 3. So now what I have is 4 over 6 plus 3 over 6, which is 7 over 6. Okay, and we know that 7 over 6 is 1 and 1/6. So when I add together my whole numbers, I have 8. When I add together my fractions, it was 1 and 1/6. So all together, that's 9 and 1/6. Okay, let's look at number 5. Common denominator for these two when I'm subtracting would be 12. So this is the same thing as 4 and 4/12 minus 3 and 3/12. Okay, when you're subtracting, we're going to set them up as mixed numbers, and then we're going to make sure that this numerator is larger than this one. And now I'm just going to get to subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. 4/12 minus 3/12 is 1 over 12. Okay, our integer rules, our negative rules still apply even when it's fractions. Okay, so subtracting a negative, keep, change, change. Common denominator would be 6. So this one can stay 5 over 6. This one will become 4 over 6. So 9 over 6. 6 goes into 9 one time with 3 left over. And that's the same thing as 1 and 1/2. Okay, over here we're adding together two negatives. So they're same sign, add and keep. So they still need a common denominator. So negative 1 and 2/4 plus negative 2 and 3/4. So when I add together the whole numbers, I get, 3. And then 2/4 plus 3/4 would be 5/4. Well, that's the same thing as 1 and 1/4. So 3 plus 1 and 1/4 is 4 and 1/4. And it would be negative because it's a negative plus a negative. So I'm just making it a bigger negative. Okay, we can also solve equations that have fractions in them, and we do them the exact same way that we solved a regular equation. The opposite of adding 7/8 would be to subtract 7 over 8. What would be a common denominator of 4 and 8? 8. So negative 2 over 8 minus 7 over 8. That becomes negative 2 over 8 plus negative 7 over 8 is negative 9 over 8, which is negative 1 and 1/8.